Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. So Ethereum is currently focusing here on the orange wave count, which is basically, or maybe I'll change it to white. I think you can see it better in white. Much weaker than Bitcoin at the moment. Again, no surprise due to the ETH BTC chart. We've been talking about that now for a few weeks, that Bitcoin is most likely going to outperform Ethereum in the next few weeks. And the faster this goes, the quicker we can get a turnaround on the ETH BTC chart again. But that's a different video. Looking at this, Ethereum broke above this descending trend line that we talked about in the previous video. As you would imagine it, after such a breakout, we had quite a decent rally. $1,900 was one of the targets of the third wave. I shared that earlier today on Telegram and Discord, that Ethereum should head to $1,900. Let's see where it actually landed. Oh. Actually 1899. Yeah, okay, good. So we are currently looking at this, and it is still a three-wave move to the upside. It did break above the trend channel, so I might very well take that out now. That has bullish implications. We might be working on some kind of a diagonal, maybe even an expanding one. It's a bit difficult, these expanding ones, because they often don't just adhere very well to the trend lines. I'm not sure. I'll take that out. I also take out the descending trend line because we broke above it. What I think is important to understand is that we are most likely in a diagonal, even though this starts to have some impulsive characteristics. Because if I measure the length of the wave 1, I go to the low of the wave 2, the 1.618 extension is typically what you would expect as a minimum for a third wave. If it's not a diagonal doesn't necessarily need to reach the 1.618 in a third wave. That's why I said, look, there are other targets along the way. Watch them for a possible reaction all the way up to 1920. But if it goes above that, yeah, I mean, it might be a very aggressive diagonal or maybe even an impulse. The thing is that we need to be ready in this particular situation. It could be a diagonal, because this move up was not clearly impulsive. Here the wave 1, so it could very well be corrective. The wave 2 was super shallow. We need to see. What does that mean? That means that precision might be a little bit off. Impulses normally super clear. Yeah, you can forecast them very well with Fibonacci extensions, and to be honest, at the moment it works. It's just that sometimes then in pullbacks, for example in this wave 4, we would normally expect only a shallow pullback. In a diagonal it might come down a bit deeper. We will see. Nevertheless, what we would anticipate at any point now is now a pullback in a wave 4. Maybe we squiggle a little higher here in the third wave to reach the 1920 level. Then at some point we just need to be ready for a pullback, but don't just assume a pullback will suddenly occur. You can't do that. A third wave can always extend very quickly. So pullbacks may be very shallow, okay? It's just that we need to see a clear 5-wave move to the upside to be able to say that a first 5-wave move is done. After a first 5-wave move, we would be looking for... One second. The first 5-wave move up would then be a larger wave 1. Then we should get a wave 2 and a wave 3 and a wave 4 and a wave 5. And that's how we should cascade higher. So at the moment, I think this wave count is in control. Certainly, as long as price is holding this ascending trend line. There may be a pullback to the trend line at some point, and that could be the wave 4. Okay. So at the moment, no reason to assume that we are heading lower again, not with this price action, but note that Ethereum is much weaker than Bitcoin at the moment. And also be aware that we could be moving here in a diagonal, which is always a little bit more difficult to forecast. Next resistances along the way to for Ethereum that, if broken, have very bullish implications. 1926, 1964, and then 2020 will be a very important one. And then obviously we've got this high here at 2,140. Getting above that could send us then to the $3,000 level. Let's see. Interesting to observe that weakness of ETH compared to Bitcoin. Another low is not off the table, not as long as we only have 3 waves up. It's a more difficult structure than Bitcoin. It's too high now for this wave 4, so you know, it might be some kind of a B wave which is moving up if we still come down. I may work on a bearish scenario just for risk management purposes, but for now, just be aware that as long as the trend line is holding, a focus on higher is there, yeah, and watching for a possible wave 1 to finish. Similar to what I said in the Bitcoin chart, if this is a larger diagonal, yeah, if this is a larger diagonal that is forming, and we get a bit complicated now, then it could be that the wave 1 is sitting here after just 3 waves. Let me just do that. After just 3 waves, you have a wave 1 and get a deeper pullback in a wave 2 and then take off. We'll see. I mean, overall, as long as the trend line is holding, I wouldn't be worried. I think it goes higher. Then we have, then we need to see where it tops in order to give lower support levels, right? But for now, I think I would use the trend line. But it's interesting, but a bit more difficult than Bitcoin here. And but yeah, let's see if it gets to 1920. We'll see. I have no strong evidence it has topped here yet. Wave 4 might start at any moment, but we might squiggle a little higher in the third wave. But certainly on a good way. Interesting. So yeah, hopefully you liked the update about ETH. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.